Buckle up, with Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan. Let's fill our cups. Commander decks in hand, the battle's about to start. A podcast for the legends, where magic meets the heart. Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains, new and old. Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan guide the way in the world of EDH we play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Commander's Pod. Thank you for joining us today. Once again, my name is Duncan. I'm joined by Sloan.
Hello.
And Jeff is back.
What's up?
Guess who's back? Back again.
Let's not ever do that again.
Okay. So we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about the new Marvel Secret Lair. It's coming out. Everybody's pretty excited about that. We're going to talk about things that don't do what you think they do. We're going to talk about the multi-blockers rules change that just happened.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yep. So let's start off. I'm going to start off. I'm going to talk about. So I just came back from MagicCon Vegas. When this airs, it will have been pretty much 2 weeks past. But I had a great time. I met a lot of cool people. There were content creators and celebrities galore. They announced what's coming up for the next year, or at least the next 6 months. So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I'm sure most of you will know this who watch or hear this. They're doing the Final Fantasy set will be June. Mm-hmm. They have a Aether Drift set that will be the first set of the year. There will also be another set after that. Oh, I can't remember the name. There'll be another standard set after that. There will be, during that year, there will be an Innistrad remastered set. So during which Edgar Markov is getting reprinted.
Right.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, that's really big. I know a lot of people are going to be excited about that.
Yeah.
My Edgar Markov is going to drop drastically in value.
Yeah, but it's good for the format. It's good for people to have access to it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not going to sell it, so it doesn't matter what its value is.
They released some of the art for the Final Fantasy set, and they showed some of the cards coming out in the sets coming out. Ugin's coming back. He will have a card. They only showed the art. We're assuming it's a creature, but it could be just like an Ugin spell, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a creature because they're big on him coming back. So there's a lot of cool stuff. They also did announce Universes Beyond will be legal in more formats. The sets, not the Secret Lairs.
Right.
So that Final Fantasy set would be the first one I think this would apply to, but it will be legal in Standard, and that's pretty big.
Right. That's kind of that's a really big deal because I think the whole part of Foundations was they wanted to be able to reprint cards to kind of resurge them and make them legal again for the Standard and Modern format. So,
but carefully.
Yeah. We'll see how careful they were. But yeah, that was, they kind of wanted to be able to bring back some cards into circulation for them again to make them legal.
Right.
And then they also, aren't they doing Universes Beyond as legal now too?
Not quite Universes Beyond. Universes Beyond sets that come out, specific sets. So Universes Beyond Secret Lair will not be.
Right. And also these sets where it's only the commander decks, like Warhammer will not be standard legal.
Right.
Even though they put out collector boosters for it, and Doctor Who was another example of that.
Right.
Well, and I hear all this talk of SpongeBob. But currently SpongeBob would not be legal.
Right. That's a Secret Lair that's coming out. But yeah, just in general, MagicCon Vegas was a lot of fun. I know they were expecting 15,000. I think they got their 15,000 because it was 100% sold out. There was a lot of people there. A lot of, like I said, a lot of celebrities, a lot of content creators, to the point which I was playing some games in a pod in the command zone and had played like 2 games. And you're aware of people around you, but you're not aware of.
Right.
So I knew that the pod next to us had been there. Pretty much the same group had been there for a while. And then some guy came up on my left-hand side and asked the guy on my left, hey, can I get you to sign this for me? And I kind of glanced real quick, and I thought there was a guy the previous day who had dressed up as Bruce Tarl, the herder.
Right.
And it was a pretty cool costume, and I thought he was having him sign the Bruce Tarl card because that's what it looked like out of the corner of my eye. And then I'm like, go back to my game, and then I hear him say, yeah, I really love your channel. And I'm like, wait a minute. Either this guy has a small channel I don't know about, or I missed something. So I turn and look. It's Saffron Olive. Olive was sitting next to me. Yeah. And so that was
which he's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah,
which is not a
cool.
small channel, in case you guys don't know.
No.
Yeah,
connected to MTG Goldfish.
Yeah,
right, correct.
And he was very cool, the guy, and signed his stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize I was sitting next to you. He goes, yeah, it happens a lot. He goes, they're just here, and people don't look. They're kind of wrapped up in their game.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
Yeah,
you want to tell the sad story from MagicCon?
Which part?
There's so
Highlander.
many.
Oh. The fact that I didn't do it?
Yeah, but why?
Oh, yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
I think we should, because
so
someone was talking about this Highlander tournament.
Yeah,
I
was very excited.
excited.
Okay, well, it turns out I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway, but we'll get to that. So the Highlander Gauntlet was 100 singleton, where it's singleton among the 6 decks, and they were doing a tournament there, and I was excited.
Non-commander, by the way.
Not commander. Yeah. It's not commander, but it's 100 card singleton. And then you can't have the same one card among any of the decks. It can only be in one, except for basic lands. So I was struggling to get my decks done because it's a lot of work to make sure you don't have a duplicate and to come up with original ideas.
Right.
And I do not net deck, so I'm doing all of this myself.
Plus, on top of that, with our work, the hurricanes that hit us and affected us, we've also all been working extra hours.
Yeah, we've been very, very busy.
We've been very busy at work.
I did not have any extra time, and I'm scrambling to get my decks done. So I finally, the night before I'm supposed to leave, I'm done building my decks. I'm like, sweet. Oh, I'm sorry. It was actually the night before that.
Right.
I'm like, all I got to do now is fill in the lands, and I'm good. Because I put any utility lands, but the basic lands I needed to put in. One of my decks had all the basic lands, and everyone had half of them. And then the other 4, I didn't have any basic lands yet.
Okay.
So I set them aside, and then the next night I needed to pack. So I'm like, okay, I'll pack. I packed my stuff.
Oh.
I never went back and put the lands in. So I don't realize this until I'm going to sleeve up my decks the night before the tournament, or when I thought the tournament was. And I'm like, oh no. So I have 2 choices now. There's nobody going to be selling lands.
Yeah,
right?
there is.
Basic lands now.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Some of those shops would have bulk basic lands.
No,
you don't think so?
No, they don't bring that. They're not going to carry that through airports and security.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
they're not wasting their energy on that.
So you got to find a shop then.
No, I don't have time to find a shop.
Okay.
So I'm like, my only choice would have been to go to where they do the tournaments, where they have the land stations, and rob them blind, because it would have taken, 33 lands times 4 decks.
Yeah, so over 150,
Yeah, it seems like
so that wouldn't have been a
not
good
be
look.
good manners.
Yeah. So I actually contacted Ben Bateman, who was putting on the tournament, and bowed out and apologized. Come to find out, though, I don't know if I was wrong or they changed it. Turns out the tournament happened Sunday at 1. It had supposed to have been Saturday at 11.
Right.
And it was Sunday 1 to 5. I wouldn't have been able to do it because I needed to be at the airport by 7.
Right.
My plane left at 7, so I had to be there by 5.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way I could have played in a tournament that went till 5, and they never end right when they say they're going to. So I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. I didn't find out till the other day when he posted the results. But it looked really cool. I think it's a neat format. I hope it takes off. I'm very sorry I didn't get to do it. But in general, MagicCon was just awesome. I met a lot of people, saw a lot of cool decks. I got some ideas for some stuff I want to build.
That's always fun.
Yeah, so it was a good time. But Jeff, you were on a trip to France, right?
Yeah. I went to Monte Carlo and Nice.
Yeah, and so this is the time for your triggers. So we have a bet going. Okay. What is your trigger?
Well, so the first one is, don't serve Hot Pockets on a plane. Hot Pockets in general.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We didn't see that one coming. That was not ours.
No.
Yeah.
We knew it would have to do with the trip, but okay, go on.
Yeah, don't serve Hot Pockets on a plane. Hot Pockets when you're in your dorm room, because that's when you mostly ate Hot Pockets, right?
Right.
Was when you're in your dorm room. They're a problem just in normal reality because they're either too cold or too hot. They're never going to be perfect. they're always going to burn you no matter what you do, or they're going to be ice cold. And so what you don't want to do is get burnt on a plane with a very hot pocket. And that's 100. Like you could, when the hot pockets came out, you could just, if you just stayed calm, you could hear people going, like throughout the plane.
Yeah, that is a strange. Did they serve Tostino pizza rolls as an appetizer?
Yeah, macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
No, they're weird hot pockets too, but they were hot pockets.
So they were fancy hot pockets.
They call them whatever you want, but they're hot pockets. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a comedian, Jim Gaffigan, that has a whole bit about hot pockets.
I bet. Yeah. So it was very funny on a plane, though, to hear people burning their mouths.
Forget snakes on a plane, hot pockets on a plane. Next.
I think they're more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because you're ready maybe for a snake, You're like, I can see it coming. But the hot pocket, you're like, this is going to be joyous and good. And then you burn yourself.
Which
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a hot pocket and said this is going to be joyous and good. But that's
man, in college they were amazing.
I don't think I ever enjoyed them.
I think I did.
They were a cheap way to get foodstuffs in my mouth.
Yeah, but sometimes it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're cramming for whatever test and you haven't eaten all day because you were just trying to have as much fun as you could before you knew you had to study, which you procrastinated on.
Yeah.
And then it's the first thing you're eating and you're like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever eaten in my life. Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they thought too. They're like, you know what would just bang?
Nostalgia.
The nostalgia of a hot pocket. But souped up for our travelers.
Yeah, it banged in a different way though.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in a good way.
Banged in the pipes of the toilets. But anyway.
Well, yeah, that's
so
another story, I suppose.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I'm so sorry you went through that. We'll start a GoFundMe.
In the realm of things, I could deal with a hot pocket on a plane to Monte Carlo. Yeah.
Let's move on to That Doesn't Do What You Think It Does. And we're going to talk about Death Touch and Trample. Because I didn't think it was that confusing, but I guess some people are confused by this.
Right.
If a attacking creature has Death Touch and Trample, how much damage must they deal to the creature blocking? You read the notes, so Jeff.
Well, that's a tricky thing because you want to think that you have to deal the full amount of damage to it before the trample will happen because you want to think about, for some reason, I've always thought in my head naturally that it would be trample first and then Death Touch. I don't know why. But it's actually Death Touch, I think, that triggers first.
Right.
So you have to deal 1 damage to them, and then the rest of it goes through.
Right. And if there's 2 blockers, then you deal 1
Which,
damage
if people
to each.
understand that, it makes Death Touch a lot more powerful. Like Basilisk's Collar.
Right.
It's a lot better than you think it is when you put it in certain decks. And it doesn't get enough love, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, because specifically the wording for trample says is after lethal damage has been dealt to the creature, the remaining damage goes through.
And Death Touch basically says any damage is lethal.
Correct.
Right.
That's why the rules wording is very particular.
Right. And so we'll move right
instance.
from this into our counterspell topic because I know you and I are on the same page on this, Jeff, but Sloan here has a different opinion, so I thought this would be a good topic. So there are also, they announced at MagicCon, new rules for multiple blockers.
Right.
So previously, multiple blockers blocking an attacker, the attacker would state where he was assigning damage, and then the defender would decide how to react to that.
Right.
And you had to deal lethal to the first creature you dealt before you could move on to the second creature. So just by telling which order you're dealing the damage in, they knew how much damage you were dealing.
Right.
Well, because to be more specific, if I'm attacking with a 5/5 and you have a 3/3 and a 4/4 and you put them both up as blockers, previously the rule was as the attacker, I put them in this order to block. So I put the 4/4 first and then the 3/3.
Yes.
And then we move to the combat step.
Yes.
Where damage is being assigned.
Well, we're already in the combat step. The
damage assigning
step.
the damage assigning step for combat.
Yeah.
So that was the previous rule was I declare attackers, you declare the blockers. I then choose my assignment of how I want them to block.
And then the defender had a chance to respond
and
to
then
that.
the defender would then have a chance to respond to
Your assignment.
Your assignment after you assigned how you want the blockers to block.
So the new way, you skip that part. You do not have to declare, I'm putting them in this order.
Right.
And furthermore, you do not have to deal lethal to one before you change the damage to another. So you can say, I deal 2 damage here and I deal 3 damage here.
Well, also the other important part is the defender now has to respond after they have declared their blockers if they want to do anything.
Yeah, they have to maintain priority.
They have to maintain priority. So if, again, using the same example as the 5-5.
That's not true because everybody, well, yeah, they do have to.
Right.
Because once the defenders
once they have been declared,
the next thing after priority has passed, which by the time it gets back to the person who blocked, if nobody has done anything,
right,
it moves right to damage.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the way it works now is, using the same example, I got a 5-5 I'm swinging at you with. You send the 3-3 and the 4-4 as the blocker. And then if you say, all right, that's what I'm doing, then it just goes to damage. If the attacker were to cast something,
then you can respond.
Then you can respond to that. But if he doesn't cast anything, he can just assign whatever damage he wants wherever he wants, and there's nothing you can do in regards to responding to said damage. So going back to this trample death touch example, right? Let's just say death touch, not even trample. Let's say I have a 5-5 that has death touch and you have a 3-3 and a 4-4. Previously, only one of those creatures would have died.
That's not true.
Yes, it is because
one damage is lethal. You have to deal lethal damage. So it was always that.
Right, but what would happen is when you go to attack, and great, I'm going to respond. I now give them indestructible. Preemptive, like they would do it after you were doing the damage is my point, right?
Right.
So you're now going to do the damage step. Great. I now give them indestructible. Your creature dies. Mine leaves. Now, once you declare those blockers, if you do not do that ahead of time, they're just like you have zero response time. As long as nobody else casts something, you have zero response into regard what's going to happen.
Right. You cannot respond. You have to hold priority.
You have to do your defensive stuff.
The way
before.
Sloan talked to me about, Sloan is very combat oriented in his decks a lot of times. He loves playing combat tricks or fogs or things to play around with combat. So his complaint was, let's say he has a, is it wild growth? Gives him plus 3,
wild growth is a good example.
So that gives him +3/+3, right? Mm-hmm. And so before they could say, okay, well, I deal first to this one, then to this one.
Right.
And so you pump up that first one
and now,
after they do it.
Right.
And now it kills their thing and your
my thing
lives.
doesn't die. Right.
Now you have to guess which way they're going to deal it, or they're going to respond to how you cast.
You're just
going
to save the one you want the most, is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do. It changes.
And they'll just
how it
kill
works.
the other one.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is where the discussion comes in. I think this is a great change, Jeff.
I think it's a great change too. And to be specific, it's not a great change because it's necessarily mechanically better. Meaning having more combat tricks is a fun thing. The reason why it's better is because it lessens the complexity of the game. And you guys just talked there for quite a bit, and you go, hey, why do so many people play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all, One Piece? It's like, because this game is so darn complicated that we just had a 5-minute conversation about one specific part of combat. Not even all of combat, but literally one specific part of combat.
One specific
and it took
instance.
5 minutes.
Because you don't always have multiple blockers.
So the more you can lessen the rules,
complication.
the simpler you make access for everybody. And by the way, the more basic the rules are, the easier it is to create cards within that space, because you have to take into account less interactions. When you're trying to game design and you've got all these rules, all these interactions, there's some challenge there. So anytime you can lessen that, you make the game easier in general, which is, right. I think, what their goal was. We'll see if they accomplished it, right? We got to test it out
we'll
more.
See.
But I think maybe they did.
Okay. Sloan, what's your take?
So I think they swung the pendulum too far. So I think it went too far in the attacker's favor, not being able to respond to anything, basically, as long as once priority is passed and you can assign damage however you want, is a little ridiculous to me. I don't think because there's a lot of spells that say, for example, destroy target creature if it was dealt damage this turn. And they cost like 1 mana, 2 mana. Like, so now basically what you're saying is that because I attacked, even though, let's say you're blocking with 4 people to block my 6/6, I'm just going to deal, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 3 here. Well, now I can there's so many things that you can do once creatures are dealt damage to increase your, increase your board state, because there's a lot of cards that say if a creature is dealt damage this turn or destroy this creature if it's dealt damage this turn, or there's just so many things. And on top of that, it then also makes those board wipes that are -1/-1 counters a lot easier because now I can just assign as much damage as I want to. For example, Massacre Girl. When she comes out, each creature gets -1/-1.
Yeah, you don't have to kill them in the combat step
Yeah,
if you know you have something like that.
Yeah, all I got to do is I just got to hit a couple of you guys for a couple here and there. Even if my guy dies, well, then I drop her. Well, all of your guys now are 2 or 3 less.
Yeah.
That makes my board wipe a lot easier, and it almost guarantees I'm going to wipe the entire board. The other thing is, too, it not only takes away, like, it drastically decreases the effectiveness of any combat stuff that is spell-based, period. Like,
right.
Because of the fact that you can no longer respond unless somebody else casts something, fogs, you now know it's coming. Like, it's fogs are useless. Anything anything that you would normally cast in response to damage getting through is now useless because you have to do it before damage is assigned. So they now know I have that. I have to cast that fog even before damage is being assigned.
I don't think that's necessary.
It is, because once the damage is being assigned, I can't cast that fog to save anybody. I have to do it during my declare blockers step, which is like, that sucks.
The thing that I'm not understanding, are you upset from the attacking side or from the defending side?
I'm upset from both sides because I feel like the attackers have too much power now and the defenders don't have enough power.
Okay, so you're upset from the attacker side.
I'm upset from both sides. I don't like the fact that now your defensive combat tricks, like doing the fogs and stuff, is pretty much you have to tilt your hand before you do it.
It's the same as if there was not multiple blockers for using a fog. That part has not changed. It's the same.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. They did not change when you can.
No, it's not,
because you could have waited till someone used a bunch of attack spells.
But they didn't change when you can respond. If you were able before to pass priority after declaring blockers and then still fog, you still are available.
No, because what happens is once the damage is being assigned, as opposed to previously where the blockers are put in and then people start throwing out damage, and it says, okay, in response, before we do damage, I'm now going to do this fog. I can't do that. You can't do that.
They did not change the steps. The only thing they changed is multiple blocker rules.
Right. So my point is, if you're blocking with multiple blockers.
But I'm saying it's now the same as if there was only one blocker.
Right.
I don't think it is, because I can't fog in response to.
So that's a separate rules issue that we'll have to look up, but you can still fog exactly the same. They did not change response.
If I can't Titanic Growth in response to combat damage being assigned, then I can't fog in response to combat damage being assigned.
Then you were just doing it wrong before, is my point. Yeah, I'm telling you. They did not change that part. They only changed what it means when multiple blockers.
We'll even take out the fogs.
This
not being able to do any combat tricks, period, in that step, to me, it nerfs a lot of things. It takes away a lot from both sides, in my opinion. And I think they swung too far. If they would have done one of these things that they changed, I think it would have been better. But the fact that they did both of them, it put all the power on the attacking side, which to me is like, that kind of sucks.
I just think
that's annoying.
In general, anytime they make the rules simpler, it's going to take something from the game.
I don't think it's simpler, though.
So
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
They did make it fair because there's an opposite scenario that never comes up, where if you have two attackers and one blocker is able to block them both. Right. So in that instance, you as the blocker get to decide where to deal the damage, and the attacker doesn't know where it's going. It's in the same way.
No, it's not.
But that's the situation never comes up. There's only a handful of cards in all of Magic that allow multiple things.
Well, there's a lot of equipments that do that. But.
Right, but I'm just saying.
This is why you trust the experts, folks, and not necessarily us. Right. Because this is so confusing.
Yeah, but regardless. So I think the key here is I think people that do a lot of combat tricks and stuff are going to feel more negatively about that than those of us that are just combat's combat.
They could, but I think most people will figure out other ways to do stuff.
Yeah, like I think you
come with a new rule, we'll figure out how to respond.
It's just not what you're used to.
Yeah.
But let's move on to our main topic. Let's talk about the Marvel Secret Lair. So when this comes out, the Marvel Secret Lair will have been sold 3 days before this, and probably is all gone, and probably was gone within the first hour. They have already told their shareholders that they expect this to sell out very, very quickly.
Right.
And they've already had instances where Secret Lairs sell out within the first
so
hour.
we're planning on helping each other by being prepared like 15, 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
And just ready to click the buy button.
Yeah, you have to be on the site before noon if you want to do this, because you get put in a queue once you even put the stuff in your cart and hit checkout. You're put in a queue to check out, which you have to wait to do that. So you'll be able to get right into the site and you'll think, oh, I'm golden. And you'll add the stuff to your cart and go to check out, and they'll say, we're sorry, there's no more of this available.
Right.
You have to be there. You have to have it in your cart.
There's a Big Bang Theory episode where they're trying to get tickets to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting around clicking the thing until one of them gets it.
Yep.
I mean, it could be like that.
Well, it is, except that you don't have to click the thing. If you're on the page, you can have the page with the specific secret layer you want loaded up on your site.
We think.
No, I know. I've done it before.
Unless we know they change from past experience,
unless they're not going to change
see
anything.
The future.
But the outcry on this, if they change it so the way people are used to it isn't how it works, it's going to be almost as bad as the commander.
One would think
thing.
it'd work the same way, but we never know.
You never know. But by the time this comes out, it will have already happened.
Be prepared.
So they can't be prepared after the fact, but in the future, be prepared.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about this. So the bonus card, they've announced what that is, and that is Arcane Signet redone as Earth's mightiest emblem. And I'll put a little graphic of that up here. But so I thought this was a miss.
Can you put it here?
Yeah, no, it's going to cover him up.
Okay, good.
It's going to cover him up 100%. So I thought this was a miss simply because I don't know why you did that instead of doing Command Tower. I do know why, because Command Tower is specifically Commander, and nobody else can use it.
Do you know the other reason why they do it?
Why?
Because I'm not paying extra money to try to get a Command Tower, which I have 100 of. I might
to
pay
me,
extra
Command
money,
Tower as Avengers Tower,
but it's
makes
not
more
Avengers
sense.
Tower. I think they picked a bad image. They should have picked an
it's
image
not
on someone's uniform.
It's not technically.
It's the symbol.
It's the A symbol.
What's getting you, catching you up is that it's on a tower, which I get.
It's not the tower.
Yeah.
It's a bad image
But Avengers
choice.
Tower, people talk about. Nobody talks about Avengers emblem.
You
You never hear.
But you know what the Avengers emblem is. If someone was to say, "What's the Avengers emblem?"
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what
I
it is.
guarantee you what happened is this was Command Tower, and someone said, listen, if you want to actually move product, have it be something better than Command Tower. But they already had the image and the art done. So they said, what can we
it's
do?
actually
Arcane Signet.
My point was moot because Arcane Signet is only usable in Commander as well.
Right, but it's
So
worth more.
But you could have put both cards in the set.
You could have, but I'm saying I think this card was originally designed, what you said, Command Tower, and someone said, no one's spending more money to get another Command Tower. Make an Arcane Signet.
Maybe.
Now people will buy
I mean,
it.
why
Maybe.
not just do both?
But anyway, well, let's get talking about some more cards. So we got one of the commanders is Black Panther Wakandan King. He is a 2/2 legendary creature, green, white, costing one of each pip. He is a human noble hero, obviously legendary creature. He has first strike. Survey the realm. Whenever Black Panther or another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target land you control. And Mime Vibranium, pay 3, move all 1/1 counters from target land you control onto target creature. If one or more +1/+1 counters are moved this way, you gain that much life and draw a card. That's pretty good.
I think it's very good.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty good. And it comes with Secure the Wastes. I'm not going to go through these cards because these are cards you can look up. They already exist.
But wait, this can't be done with the combat tricks, because I was originally thinking if you attack with 5 creatures, Duncan, and they block with 4, you would just put the counters on the 5th creature that's not blocked. But that wouldn't work anymore.
Yes, it would.
It would still work?
You can still respond to defenders. Like I said, his
Okay.
interpretation of Fog not being able to be cast is either he was doing it wrong before or it's false, because they did not change when you can respond. They only changed
So that
how
would
you
still
assign
work,
it.
because I think this is
That would
kind
still
of a
work.
go wide.
And there is always a response to defenders. There always has been. There always will be. You can respond once defenders have been. The question is whether or not the defender has another point to respond before damage is dealt if they pass priority and nothing else happens.
Gotcha.
But so the cards that come with him are Secure the Wastes, Primal Vigor, very good card, is reskinned as Bast's Blessing, Heroic Intervention, And then Karn's Bastion, which is reskinned as Wakandan Skyscraper.
This art is so good too.
Yeah, and it comes with a 1/1 warrior token. So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. I think that's going to be fun for people. I think it's a great commander. It's great in a 99 for some decks. I think the cards with it go well with it.
They do, yeah.
How'd you feel about it, Sloan? Is that one you're excited about? You kind of like? You're just kind of indifferent to?
I mean, I like that he's like one of the cheapest guys to get out, so you can kind of start doing this thing early. I think his ability to activate to move the counters, I mean, it's going to be good, but because it then resets, then someone can technically respond to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a hit or miss. I feel like this is going to be very quickly. This is going to be a doubling season.
Well, and here's the thing. The response will be, you pay 3.
Yeah.
I get to respond. I destroy the land you're trying to move them from.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
The 3 : so that's the cost.
Okay.
Then the ability goes on the stack.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's
they
why
can-
you don't put them all on the same
But
land.
if you don't put them all on the same land, then you're getting less value out of him because you can only move. You only get you gain life based off of how many 1/1 counters you move from that land, and you get to draw a card. So if you only you're paying 3 mana to move.
Well, and let's
one-
remember, most people don't play land destruction.
Yeah, but you could also
but-
pay 6.
But the other thing
Pay
they could
3 and pay 3 to do it to another land. You just have to pay 3.
Yeah, but you have to name your target.
no, you have to move it to a creature. You can't. just move
And
it
if
to another
in
land.
your situation, Jeff, what I would do is pay 3.
Yeah,
When they go to destroy the land, pay 3 again for the same land.
that would work too. Actually,
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that because you just invested 6 mana.
Sure, but
it's
depending on
6
how many
mana to
1/1
kill someone probably.
Yeah,
because
I
you
mean,
put it on
maybe.
an indestructible land and you're pretty good.
yeah, that's true too.
So I mean, it's okay. I mean, I definitely think green white's probably the right colors for Black Panther. I think color scheme wise, they picked a good color scheme.
I don't know.
Some of the cards
I
they
think
redid-
Black Panther should have had some black in there, but that's just
Well, the downside with black and Magic is that it's like death and decay.
that's
and
true.
it's a very
Thematically, yeah.
thematically it doesn't make sense. I understand why, because obviously the hero's name is Black Panther. So, but yeah,
Well, they
no,
did interesting
thematically-
things here because when we get to Captain America, he's red, white, and blue.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. You
Yeah.
always jump ahead.
I know, but just to this discussion,
Well, because in Magic, red, white, and blue is known as America. That's what that color scheme's known as. That's what
Yeah,
people call it.
officially.
it's known everywhere as America, I think.
No,
But
America.
No,
yeah,
America.
But my
America.
point is, to what you're saying, black could be in this because the red, white, and blue aren't there because they represent what red, white, and blue do.
That's
mean-
true. Because blue is magic, and there's nothing magic about
Right,
Captain America.
exactly.
I mean, he throws a shield that always comes back to him. I don't know how you're saying that's not magical.
It's
Well,
not
that's
magical.
just
that's skill.
that's defying
That's
the laws of
pure
physics, as Spider-Man
American
said.
which some
skill.
which some would say is
All right.
magic.
So let's move on to Captain America, since Jeff wants to talk about that. Single red, single white, single blue pip. He is a 4/4. So right away, 3 mana for a 4/4. Very good. A legendary creature, human, soldier, hero. Throw. Pay 3. Unattach an equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to that equipment's mana value, divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. And then catch at the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. That's pretty awesome.
I love this card.
That is like very thematically.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
thematically speaking, it's on point.
And let me just say, the correct answer here is Excalibur,
yeah, that's
because that
okay.
is 12 mana.
yeah.
Yeah.
that
So-
and I think Mjolnir that they also just printed. I think was like 7 or 8 mana.
6, I believe. I think I looked up.
It's,
it was
it's something. It's I mean,
something
it's
like
a
that,
lot,
but it's right up
But
there.
it's also got a really good ability on
Yeah.
it, so it's not like. And Mjolnir is perfect,
Yeah,
since
'cause
he gets Mjolnir in
This is a
Endgame.
Artifact equipment deck that doesn't want Colossus Hammer as a number 1 equipment.
Yeah, no.
So I kind of like that. Plus, Captain America is my favorite Avenger, so
Yeah.
love this one.
And does he deal the damage? He deals the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So there are tricks you can play there too.
Yeah,
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, give him Basilisk's collar, and now he's just killing stuff with one damage.
Lifelink, yeah.
Yeah, lifelink. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you
No,
can have all
this
kinds of
one's a
fun.
cool. This one and the stuff he comes with too is Sigarda's Aid,
Yeah, no.
flawless
If you have
maneuver.
Excalibur and you give him a Basilisk collar, you can wipe the board.
Yeah.
Well, it can only hit 3 targets.
Oh, is it up to 3?
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3 targets.
Yeah. So you can kill 3 things.
But the one cool thing about this that's kind of fun is like this is a good anti-flying commander, right? Because he can kill those flyers without even having to go into combat.
Yeah.
By throwing, doing the throw mechanic, and then great, I'm going to re-equip that attachment. Now I'm going to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Like I just wiped out yours flying. Now I'm going to kill you.
I mean, you can throw it and immediately get it back on him.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Just move the combat.
Yeah, just move the combat. It goes right back on him. And and so one of the nice things with him is, as we'll see with the next couple, like his ability doesn't rely on him attacking.
Yep.
So there's a couple that we're about to hit that are going to rely on them actually attacking. Luckily, his doesn't rely on that. So you can actually hold him back as a defender too. So you could literally pay to 3, throw your thing, hit everybody. At the beginning of combat, you put it back on him, and you just move to your second main. You know. So that's kind of nice too. Is that his ability doesn't rely on him actually attacking in order for him to do the catch part.
But
It just happens right at the beginning of combat.
But you can't have other creatures attack without Captain America. Captain America has to attack with them because Captain America leads from the front.
Yes, that's
He's
correct.
Captain America.
Yeah, I think
So
that's,
you're gonna
I
get a
think that's in the
flavor
fine
fail.
print at the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
you're
deck.
gonna get a flavor fail if you leave him back to protect him. Like, get out of here! It's Captain America.
I mean, it's a shield, not a spear. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But so the cards that come with him are Sigard's Aid, which is reskinned as Captain America's Aid. Flawless Maneuvers.
Well, can we talk about the Captain America 8 art real quick?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I thought the idea of putting Captain America in the back and him handing the shield off to Samwise like he did in the cinematic universe, or not Samwise.
Samwise. I mean, we're gonna have these scenarios play out in games,
Right, that will happen. He will hand the shield off to Samwise, but not Samwise. I meant Sam. I don't know why I said Samwise. The fact that Sam is holding the
Our
shield.
producer is just losing it.
Our producer's a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so he's gonna kick it out. But the fact that Sam is holding the shield in front of Captain America who's standing behind him, I thought is pretty. I think that's a really cool kind of concept, and it's literally Captain America aiding Sam. So very well done with that art for sure.
But do you see where he is? He's standing in the background, Jeff.
Yeah.
So when it's appropriate,
because
he does stand in the background.
No, because he's passing the buck, but not to Bucky.
Some might say
is-
he threw the shield to Sam.
The other thing you're going to notice is the
Red
art
one.
in these. It's not the same type of art. They're doing different art styles within each character.
Well, yeah,
which
because
I think is
different
very
artists
cool.
did them.
Yeah,
you know?
but I like that they made that choice because I just think you'll actually see. I don't know if you see it with him, Captain America, as much. Yes, you do. They're wearing different costumes. in them
throughout
too.
the ages, the different costumes.
So I think it's really, really cool. It's if you enjoy Marvel characters, this is very cool.
Well, I think anybody who buy this enjoys Marvel characters.
Right.
I think if you don't, you're probably not buying it. But anyway,
or you're reselling them and you're about the money.
Flawless Maneuver in the trenches, and then instead of Sword in War and Peace, Shield of War and Peace.
Which I love that so much.
That's so good.
Which, if you're going to reprint any sword for Captain America, War and Peace would be the one you'd have to.
And thematically, I guess the protection from red that gives, it's the commies.
Yeah.
And he can pick up Mjolnir, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but other people can't. So you're doing it wrong if you're letting him.
In regards to this one, I think this one might be towards the top of my list.
This is a Johnny
One.
card if
I
ever saw one.
love the fact they made him red, white, and blue.
Yep.
I mean, fantastic. I like his ability. I think his ability is strong enough to where it makes him viable, but it's not so strong because, like, for example, what you were saying, like if you can just paint it as many times as you want to, you give him Excalibur and you put a Basilisk collar on him, and he's literally killing 12 creatures.
But I mean, to our point about the colors and about thematically versus in Magic, what do you got to put in there thematically in blue?
In blue,
Yeah.
It's Doctor Strange.
So
Yeah.
yes, there is a Doctor Strange counterspell,
yeah.
which came out at MagicCon.
Which Duncan has how many?
I have
He
3.
has one less because he sold one to me.
Yeah, it was
you go.
very nice.
Yes.
I'm hoping to pick up the other one tonight. They had one left. So our local game shop, Mystic Forge Games, was at MagicCon. and that was really cool. And people were there who didn't know Mystic Forge agreed with me that was really cool. That my local shop.
Yeah, that's
there.
awesome.
It was cool.
Shout out to Mystic Forge for getting all the way over there.
Yep, and they were at MagicCon Chicago too, so they should be in for all the MagicCons they want to go to now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Well, and hopefully they're profitable for them.
Yep.
Well, let's keep mentioning their name and maybe they'll sponsor us and then we all get to go on their dime.
right, maybe.
Mystic Forge is amazing.
Well, you gotta say it right. It's Mystic
Not that
Forge.
you're biased at
Yeah,
all.
right.
I have no bias
Because you want them
whatsoever.
to now take you on a trip.
But anyway,
Listen,
beyond
Mr. I
that
had a $10,000
counterspell,
trip for free.
and that beyond
you-
that counterspell, what in blue would you play
If you,
thematic?
but hold on, if you take Johnny on the trip, just leave him there, please.
Yeah,
In blue,
yeah.
I mean, well, blue's control, right? Captain America controls the battlefield.
Yeah, but I cannot think of one blue card that thematically I'm like, yes, that is maybe Siren's Call because it makes all your opponent's creatures attack. Like maybe because
Yeah.
it's Captain America.
Guys,
maybe.
Maybe propaganda.
Xavier would be blue.
Well, he's saying existing blue cards.
Existing blue cards.
What
if
one
you were building this
thematically makes
thematically,
sense?
the blue doesn't fit, is what I'm trying to point out. Thematically, the only blue card that totally
No,
fits.
all the counter spells work. He stops the foils of all of his enemies. He foils all their plans. He stops them all.
I
All
think
the
you
counter spells.
You
make
guys are
sense.
missing it. It's the blue's not on there for that. It's on there because he's red, white, and blue.
That's
We-
my point.
we get
That's
that.
the exact point I'm making.
yeah,
Anyway.
then we all agree with you. No
All
one
right,
disagrees.
But we were saying green and white for Black Panther actually kind of made sense because
Yeah,
the way
agreed.
his ability. No, but just based off of the character Black Panther, not the card Black Panther. The character Black Panther, green and white kind of makes sense for that person's ideology in the universe of Marvel.
Yeah.
So we're saying the premise of red, white, and blue in Magic doesn't necessarily match up with who Captain America is in the Marvel world. Besides the fact that he's America.
Agree.
As opposed
I
to
agree.
Black Panther, where green and white very much fit.
Right.
I agree.
With Black Panther.
You keep saying you agree to two different points, so clearly you don't understand.
I do understand. I'm
No.
saying I get that Black Panther. There's no point in arguing this anymore. I get that why they did it differently with Black Panther than Captain America, and I think it works.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on to Iron Man. Now, this is the one that I really want to build just because I love Iron Man and I like the mechanic, and I just think it'll be fun. I think it's the one not many people are going to pick. But Iron Man, Titan of Innovation. Now, he is a mighty 3, a red and a blue
Yeah, so 5.
for a 4/4.
Yeah.
So they done him dirty there.
Well,
Well, he has flying and haste.
and
I
he,
mean,
and he
fair.
creates mana.
Yeah. So he has flying and
On his
haste.
first
he, is
turn.
he is a human hero.
So really, it's 4.
Legendary artifact creature. Now they made him an artifact, I guess, because of his
Ability.
mechanical heart.
Right, and his. I think it kind of thematically makes sense for his ability too.
Yeah, but whenever Iron Man attacks, create a treasure token. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact with card with mana value equal to 1, plus the sacrifice artifact's mana value. Put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle.
Well, no, making him an artifact makes sense because technically Iron Man is the suit, which is an equipment. So when you look at it that way, because it's not Tony Stark, Titan of Innovation, it's Iron Man.
Except that Tony Stark is Iron Man.
But he's not Iron Man unless he has the suit.
I mean, unlike Captain America, they've tried
You
other
guys are-
people as Iron Man, and it has failed.
You guys are thinking too much into this.
We're allowed.
This is literally what this entire podcast is about, is
Yeah,
us just
exactly.
being able to say stupid, nerdy
Cards
stuff.
that come with him are Galvanic Blast,
Yep.
Commander's Plate,
Perfect thematic.
Soul Ring, Inventor's Fair, and a treasure token.
Inventors Fair, by the way, well done on them pulling from
Yes.
the Expo, the Future Expo, whatever it was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like the
Stark
treasure.
Expo.
I think the treasure is sort of stupid.
The treasure art, his
Yeah.
his headpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his faceplate.
Yeah. It doesn't really strike me as a treasure.
I mean, what
It's
would
more
you
of an
choose?
equipment.
What would you do as treasure for Tony Stark? A bottle of alcohol?
Well, that's
No, his cars.
That's true.
yeah. That would,
that
well,
would
but
have been
that
good.
also can lend itself to. But there's something you could do. I mean, you can figure
And
it
the
out.
Soul
His
Ring,
dime
by
piece
the
of
way.
just money, just a bag of money, a briefcase of money would do it.
And the Soul Ring, by the way, is his mini arc reactor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is amazing.
That's
that was
awesome.
that was cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In regards to this one, thoughts on it? I think it's a good ability. I think it definitely has an interesting kind of mechanic built into it. They did nerf it a little bit by making whatever you go get come in tapped. However, if what you're going to go and putting into tap doesn't matter, then
And I will tell you what I would like to do with this deck is I want to build it, get it where I want it, and then I want to create proxies of some of the things I would put in there so that it fits thematically.
Yeah, the Iron Man theme.
Yep,
yeah,
like Goblin Welder.
They might.
Yeah,
who
let's make him
knows? Give them
welding.
enough time.
Make him one of the robots and Tony Stark's
I mean, they
lab.
did announce they're doing more Marvel stuff next year, right?
Well, no, even this year is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's the second half of this year of 2025.
Right, that's
and
next
then
year.
every year they're going to come out with at least one set.
He's an artifact birthing pod on a stick because you could just keep casting him.
Yeah.
And although the ability happens once, you could do extra combats, which then allow you to do it multiple times. Or even double strike. Would double strike work too? Whenever Iron Man attacks, right?
No, attacks is just
you would
on
need
the
deal
initial
damage.
attack.
Yeah.
So-
but you need extra combat steps.
Our producer,
I hate you,
Jack,
You're the worst.
just sent us a picture.
You can put that on the thing because that's good.
Yeah. It's
You can put that one. You can put over me.
Yeah. It's Captain America. It looks like he's shaking hands with Link.
No, it's
Giving him his
Samwise.
shield.
Oh, it's Samwise.
He's
Did
giving
you just
Samwise
say
a
I?
shield.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
awesome.
That's
I want to
hilarious.
know what AI you used. But anyway, that's awesome. So he has him handing the shield off to Samwise.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like that's probably. I feel like T-shirts are going to be made of
Yeah.
giving the shield to Samwise.
We're copywriting it.
Yep.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
don't think-
Copywriting two copyrighted characters.
Yep.
Yep.
Got him. So yeah, I think he's good. Like I mentioned before, this is one where you are forced to attack with him in order to use his ability. Luckily, he does have flying, and he's a 4/4, so you have that going for you.
You have
but
evasion.
you are forced to attack with him
Now,
in order to use his ability.
Yeah. Something I want to point out that I just realized again. I realized it previously and I've forgotten about it because I'm so excited about the cards. These secret layers are more than the normal secret layers.
Slightly, yeah. What's
Yeah.
it, $10?
$10 more. So for the foil, you're paying $50. For the non-foil, you're paying $40. So
But
that's
you're paying for the IP. That's just how life
Yeah.
works.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on it, I think it's good. I think so far 3 for 3, they've done a good job thematically with them, as well as making them with their abilities good enough to where you kind of want to play them more than just have them to look at, but you actually want to build a deck and play with them. So I think so far they're doing good.
I don't know that Galvanic Blast. I mean, it fits, but I don't know if it fits the character deck design. But I don't know that that's necessary.
What are you talking
Metalcraft.
about?
Metalcraft.
Oh, I guess
is-
Metalcraft
Yeah.
does. But are you gonna play? Is this? I mean, I guess it's not just for Commander.
One, it's a 1-drop instant, so it costs 1 red to do its ability, and if
You're gonna
as long as you
deal
have
4
3 or
damage?
more artifacts, you get 4 damage for 1 red. Like,
yeah, I
and the
guess.
whole
It's
deck
not
is
very
based
good.
around artifacts.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's called synergy.
I mean, say what you want, but 4 damage so far would kill every commander we've seen so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you say it's not good, but you could literally kill
I guess it's
every
in
commander.
red too. So
Right, red's all about direct damage.
So we'll move on to the next one, which is Storm, Force of Nature. 1, a green, a blue, and a red, which thematically, the elemental colors, perfect.
Yeah, makes sense.
She is a legendary creature, mutant hero. Flying and Vigilance, 3/4. Ceaseless Tempest. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm.
wow.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's so
And
good.
this art is amazing. I love this art
Yeah,
Storm.
so this art, I think by
Shout
far
out
for
to this artist.
Yeah, for
Well
a
done.
commander, this one by far is the best looking
Who
one
is
thus far.
Magali Villanueva. That's the artist.
Yeah, right there on the bottom of the card. Yeah, I mean it looks
Reading
great.
the card explains the card.
It does
by the way.
explain the card.
Sometimes.
This is the one that I hear the most hype about. When at MagicCon, everybody's like, I want to build Storm. I want to build Storm.
Well, I mean, she's gross
yeah,
'cause-
it's pretty good.
because there's so many 1-drop spells that you could cast in your main phase.
Like the
then-
one that comes with it, Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lightning Bolt, I would do the Storm with because that would.
That's true too.
Imagine storming with Lightning Bolt. That'd be so fun.
But here's my thing too. Use the combat tricks with green, right? So you deal more combat damage, do more stuff. Maybe with the red, you
Yeah.
can even get some extra combats too. And
Yeah.
then do
Yeah,
the
because
Storm stuff,
whenever she deals combat damage, so if you actually do an extra attack phase, you get to
do it again.
do it again.
And now that one has Storm. And now
And
you've cast more spells, which is higher.
Right.
Well,
Storm
also
count.
double strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, double strike is good on her. I mean,
that's true. You instantly get the that's
get a slice.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, like there is so many gross things you can do with this card, which is clearly why everybody wants it. Because the first thing I thought was, oh, she'd be fun in Calamax.
Also, I'm skipping ahead because that's fun. But you guys already talked about Lightning Bolt, but Jessica's Will is in here.
Yeah, called Storm's Will.
So Storm Jessica's Will.
Storm's Will. That's pretty cool. And the art on that, by the way, that's
very cool.
Very cool.
So
yeah,
good.
they changed Jessica to Storm, so it looks really good.
The art's really good. Then Ice Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just so on point with these ones. This is probably the best choices for cards I can think of. And then instead of Metamorphose, it's Aurora Borealis.
Right. And then,
And by the way, Aurora, her name, not Aurora, the event.
Right. So the art for the Storm card itself is her in her black and gold costume.
Yep.
And then you'll notice that in the Ice Storm one, it's her white and gold costume.
Yeah,
that
and
she's
then
rocking
Lightning
in that
Bolt,
one.
it's the one where she has the mohawk when she was leading the
Right.
the Marauders.
And then the Aurora is the black.
It's very hard to say.
It's very
It
hard
just
to
sounds, it sounds like a dog.
You gotta. We're also not reading the things at the bottom of these cards. When you get a chance, go through.
The
and
flavor
read them.
text.
Oh,
the
they're
flavor
so
text
cool.
is so good.
So, but yeah, so even in that one, she has another costume, which is the black and white one that she wore. So whoever did this obviously did all these different arts. If it was all the
each one is a different.
yeah,
artist.
each one is a different artist. Like I think it's really cool that.
But I think
did.
they had probably told them, why don't you do this costume? Why don't you do this costume?
And they did a good
Or
job
let
with
them
it.
pick. Yeah.
So yeah,
That one by far is probably going to be the most popular. I mean,
and the most powerful. I think.
yeah, and the most powerful, hands down. I don't think even as good as Iron Man could possibly get to, because of the limitations of his ability, because it's only on attacking. With hers doing damage, like you can do so many more nasty things.
So
with that.
you'd say she's the best.
Probably around, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
Wolverine
think-
says no. Wolverine, the best there is. So Wolverine is one, a red and a green, and I think that fits.
Yeah,
Absolute
red for
chaos.
sure.
Yep.
Chaos and regeneration.
Yeah.
2/2 legendary creature, mutant berserker hero. Unrivaled lethality. Double all damage Wolverine would deal.
Yeah.
I want to say that again. All damage Wolverine would deal.
Right.
There are cards that say target creature deals damage equal to its power to each creature on the battlefield.
Right.
Well, now it's double.
Yeah. Because it is him dealing the damage technically, right?
At the beginning of each end step, if Wolverine dealt damage to another creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on them. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
On him, sorry, on them, because that would be bad. Yeah. You don't want to pump up the stuff you're trying to kill. And then 1 and a green, regenerate Wolverine. The next time he would be destroyed this turn, instead tap him, remove him from combat, and heal all damage on him.
Which is, help me understand, the regenerate, the way regenerate
That
was
is
in Magic.
exactly as I just read it.
It is? It
That
didn't
is-
go to, it never went to the graveyard?
No,
No.
it's never gone
It
to the
came back,
graveyard.
okay.
Regenerate always has kept them on the battlefield.
But you don't see regenerate much, but this
Undying is the
on
one
here
where
it
they go
works
to the
good.
graveyard and then come back.
Well, I think
okay.
originally, in the original version, back in Unlimited, Revised, Beta, Alpha, I do believe it did die and come back. But
since I've been playing, it's never gone to the
The
graveyard.
one
basically
thing-
forever.
the one
They
th-
brought back Regenerate just for Wolverine, and I am like, that is awesome. If you're gonna bring it back, he gets it.
Yeah, that's
and you know who
that's
else
a good one to get.
should get is Deadpool, but we haven't seen it.
The one thing you have
gosh.
to ignore on all these, though, is probably you can get into arguments about their power and toughness.
yes,
Because obviously that's part of the game mechanics.
Storm
we're
would
trying
not
to
have
balance
higher
it.
power and toughness than Wolverine.
Yeah.
But
And-
his is increasing always. The
Yes.
more he does, the
Yeah.
more he gets. So, I mean, because that's the thing is so.
it can't be perfect. It's still a game.
Yeah, and because the same thing I think because I think Black Panther's only a 3/3, right? No,
Was
he's
he
a 2/2.
4?
No, he's a 2/2 also.
Yeah, so that's also silly.
Yeah.
So,
But so the cards that come with him are Berserk, Rite of
great
Passage,
card.
Rhythm of the Wild, and then the only reskin is the Ozolith as Adamantium Bonding Tank.
Which is a sick art, by the way.
It is a sick art. I think it's a stretch. It's not like Wolverine has an Adamantium Bonding Tank in his
Yeah,
home.
but I think for what he's trying to do for the deck wise, it makes the most sense because
Yes,
it keeps your
yeah.
counters around and you can just keep.
It
putting
also
back
is how
on
he
them.
got his 1/1 counters on him, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Technically.
yeah, because when he comes back from it, like when he dies, everyone can actually kill him and he comes
And
back.
let me just point out that Rite of Passage has Weapon X on it, his daughter.
Yeah.
Which brings into a good question I want to ask you guys. What 3 characters do you want to see on a card the most?
Deadpool.
That don't exist yet.
Deadpool.
Probably
Deadpool for
Johnny's
sure.
Deadpool too.
Deadpool would be dope.
I want Doctor Strange to be a commander.
Yeah.
I have him on a counter
I
spell.
could see
I
that.
want him.
I could
as a
see Doctor
commander.
Strange being a commander.
Okay, so yours is Doctor Strange, Deadpool. What's your third one?
Third one, Doctor Strange, Deadpool. I think actually Doctor Doom would be very cool.
Okay, Doctor Doom. All right, how about you?
I think Hulk would be dope, just like 5 green.
Yeah,
just
Gigantosaurus.
no,
but
you
it's
know what
Hulk.
would be dope is
He's
if
gotta
he was
have red
if
in
he
him.
was Bruce Banner and Hulk, like
Flip
a flipping
card?
commander. Oh,
That
that
would
would
be
be cool.
Yeah,
I think-
Doctor Bruce Banner, and he
Yeah.
does cool like science stuff,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, it's like Doctor Bruce Banner and it's like
That-
the
I
ability-
think that'd be a very
I
cool way
don't
to
know
do
how
it.
you make those two mesh, but
I think you could figure. I think for Bruce Banner, you could probably make him like
If he's dealt
blue
damage, he has an angry ability that you pay into after he's dealt damage, and then he flips over to Hulk.
that's true.
yeah, that'd be a good way
Like
to do
Enrage.
And when he
Yeah.
flips over, destroy all other creatures.
it. Or to make it really cool, destroy all artifacts because
but
he
you-
usually destroys buildings and stuff.
Destroy all other creatures, but all your creatures also take damage, or you take damage.
Yeah.
I want
Or roll a dice, make it like truly chaotic.
so Doctor Doom, Deadpool, and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so I think Bruce Banner into Hulk. I think that would
Okay.
be a cool way for them to do that. I think that would be fun. Maybe do like Hawkeye too, because I'm a huge archery guy. I like archery. That's why Hawkeye was always one of my favorites too, because he was just like a normal dude that was like really good at shooting arrows. So I think that would be cool if you made somehow Hawkeye get in there. And then, oh man, what would be a good third one? There's so many to think about.
Well, you have 3: Deadpool, Hawkeye, Hulk.
I mean, he already picked Deadpool. I'm not going to double up on
but it's your
Deadpool.
favorite thing.
He is literally one of my favorite heroes, and I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
You guys can both
which
just
is
have the same
hysterical.
thing.
But
So-
I
What-
think some more X-Men would be dope too. So maybe like Professor.
Professor X, yeah, for sure.
That'd be
that's
cool.
one of mine. yeah.
Or Colossus.
No, you're done. You got 3. Stop it.
So mine is X-23, who's on here. One of my favorite characters. X-23 would be awesome. I also think Professor X would be amazing. And then it'd be very interesting to see what they would do like with a Jean Grey. Because that could also be a flip.
Or a Phoenix.
Jean Grey turns into the Phoenix.
Yeah, but so has so many other people now.
Well, yeah, but Jean Grey is like the original,
You know who
right?
would be dope is if they did Gambit and like somehow you accumulated like cards, artifacts over time, and then like
you
and
fling
then-
your cards at your opponent.
No, but I think it would be cool if like you did Gambit, right? And like somehow his ability, like you get to add a card, like a card artifact token to your deck, and then like you can, pay a certain amount, and you throw them and just deal
Every time
damage
you
to
draw
everything.
draw a card, he deals a damage.
Yeah, and I think
You know.
they have so many interesting things because like
So.
Professor X, you got to figure he lets you look at other people's hands
Right? Yeah.
and maybe even play their cards.
Yeah.
So like, there's cool stuff they can do with these. I'm
Oh, yeah,
very
for sure.
excited.
Yeah. No, and so let's talk about the crazy fact that these are the cards that were posted on eBay 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That is wild.
That's a little
Oh, so it was a
saddening.
leak. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a leak again, unfortunately.
Yeah. Somebody needs a plumber because there's a leak up in there.
For sure.
To
I
quote
mean,
Kevin Hart.
yeah. I mean, it is a little sad and frustrating because again, it's one of those things where we kind of look forward to being surprised with what they're going to do. And it kind of stinks that like these random people are taking pictures and selling these decks somehow that aren't.
I mean, he
supposed to
was
be here.
selling the physical cards. He had stacks of them.
Right.
How many did he sell?
We don't know how many he sold. They took it down right away. The problem is, I mean, I guess not problem. What happened is one person noticed and posted on MTG.
Do you know how much
person,
he was selling them for?
Probably a lot.
I don't. I think I knew originally. It wasn't crazy.
Whoever bought them was smart then, probably.
Yeah. I mean, somebody has them right now, probably.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unless the Pinkertons went to the guy's house and before he was able to ship them out. But
Yeah, which I don't. But
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
because
to me.
aren't you buying stolen stuff? That's
I mean,
a crime.
I mean, we don't know how he got them.
right.
And when they sent the Pinkertons the first time, they accidentally gave the guy the stuff.
what?
Yeah. They made a mistake and sent it early.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so-
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the Pinkertons showed up and they're like, hey, you're in trouble. Here's some free cards. Like, that's how you said it the first time.
That's not how I said
That's
it.
how I
you
interpreted
it,
what
yeah.
you said.
But I think these cards are really cool. I'm very sad that they are going to sell out and most people won't get them.
Yeah.
This is going to be like Monty Python all over again.
I mean, hopefully they printed enough.
I mean,
and
you
it's
guys
not
will
a
know
problem.
by the time you see this, but I predict that it's going to be.
I'm
And
gonna-
here's the thing that's aggravating. There are people who don't want to sell them. They want to keep them and they want 10, 20 copies.
Right.
Stop it. I don't buy any more than, I think the biggest amount I bought during a Secret Lair was 4. The biggest amount. And I try and temper it by the fact that I don't want somebody else not to get them so I can have them all.
Yeah.
Well, people sell them. They
I mean,
have a,
But I'm saying even the people that don't.
If
I've
Wizards
seen them.
doesn't want people to do that, they can limit how many you buy.
They do. To
Right,
10.
but they could make it a more reasonable limit,
Yes,
like
right.
2.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm buying 2 of each.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I
want
will
to buy
say,
2 of the bundles.
Yeah, I will say, having them announce this before when we heard about it last year, my initial thoughts were if they did it right, I feel like I'd be really happy. I think they did it right. In
Yeah.
my opinion, now that we've looked at all of these, I think they did it right. I think they did a good job. They made all the abilities good. They made the art good. They made the characters they picked, I think, were all good. I think we can definitely see them dipping their toe into this pool more and more and more and keep pulling out more.
If I don't
characters.
get the cards, so I think they did everything terrible.
But so let me say this too about Secret Lairs. So when I was at MagicCon Vegas, so another one that sold out
Yeah.
that people wanted, well, it didn't technically sell out. So the Extra Life, the charity one they did with the pixel art, you got some. I got 2. You got yours already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened with that one was that one was open-ended because it was for charity. It was not only what they had printed,
Right.
but they had so many printed and then
But
after
they
that.
printed them fast.
So people were being told at one point, winter of 2025 is when they could expect to see their cards. And it has kept selling since that point. And what I think is not cool is Wizards was selling that set at MagicCon. Physical set. Here you go, buy it.
Oh, so the people who were
It's dropping
ordering
the
it
value.
were
No,
the people
so
who
the people
had
that are
ordered
waiting
it
until
and waiting,
winter, they had some
they have
printed
some. They just didn't.
Yeah, but why would some people be waiting till winter? I got mine right
because
away.
they had so many printed, and then after
people
that
are
they're
still
printing
ordering.
to demand.
Yeah, so they're still ordering them, and they're being
That's
told.
not right. Yeah.
No, and if you're going to do that, then you darn well should be doing it for the Marvel one.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know yet that how many they printed. We may be fine.
They
Everybody who
told
wants-
their shareholders that
Yeah.
they expect this to sell out very, very quickly.
Okay.
yeah. So my guess is,
That's
if I had to
not great.
predict it, again, we're recording this before it actually happens. They're gonna sell out. I'd
No,
be
they- I
surprised if it
guarantee
makes it.
They will
an
sell
hour.
out in. I'm going to predict within 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it'll probably
I
be
think
within
that's
an hour.
probably true too. It's just unfortunate. It's a
Yeah.
bad decision. It's a bad look for
But
Magic if they do.
I
that.
will say this too. I will put this out here. If I'm going to get 2 sets. So I'm going to open one, keep another. If we get to 100 subscribers, I will raffle off my one I get to one of the subscribers. But we got to get to 100 subscribers first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after I get it, I'll announce if I got it. And then when we hit 100 subscribers, we'll raffle it off.
Well, I'm a subscriber, so there's a chance I'll get one, baby.
I'll
Let's go.
toss in one of my. Well, the pixel thing doesn't matter, so we'll toss some other stuff in too.
Right. But so anything else you guys wanted to talk about the Marvel stuff?
No, I think that was it. I think overall they did a good job.
Do you have any pro tips today?
Yeah, I just have so a lot of new terms were brought in with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
New things. So I was gonna go back over a couple of terms that one specifically that they've been kind of doing different variations of, and then a couple other things. Just a couple more terms. So dredge is one that they have brought back in the last couple of sets and been reusing. So in case you don't know what it does is you skip your draw step. As long as a card in your graveyard has dredge, you can skip your draw step and then mill that many cards equal to the dredge number. And then you can return that card from your graveyard to your hand. So if it's dredge 3, you would mill 3 and then you get to return that card back to your hand.
Which I think that's a pretty broken mechanic because the people that want that are usually the ones who want stuff.
Who
in their
want
graveyard.
graveyard. You're right. There are
Yeah.
usually graveyard focused decks. So
It's like you let them have recursion basically for free and let them fill their graveyard. I'm like, great. Thanks.
Cool. So that's what dredge is. Fear can only be blocked by black or colorless creatures.
Artifacts.
Artifacts specifically.
Yeah.
So artifacts are black creatures. And then the last one is ninjutsu. And this one I was going to sit on for probably a minute, just real quick to explain, because ninjutsu says specifically you can pay the ninjutsu cost of a creature card in your hand to then put it into play, trading places with a creature that was not blocked, and put the non-blocked creature back to your hand. The reason why this one's a little unique is because technically, after combat damage has been assigned and dealt, there is still the cleanup phase in the combat phase. So you can technically ninjutsu in that phase as long as the creature was not blocked. So the reason why that's important is like there are some like ETB tricks that you can do where you can pay ninjutsu a couple of times and like bounce things a couple of times to get value out of it. So ninjutsu is not only during the declare attackers and declare blockers, it's anytime during combat, including the cleanup phase. You can pay ninjutsu and ninjutsu.
And it is not casting the creature.
It is not casting. It is an ability that you are paying. So
that's why the commander ninjutsu allows you to get past commander attacks, because you're not casting it.
Right.
Yep.
I've never cast it. I have ninjutsu'd it.
Right. Exactly. I've never cast it the entire time. So, but yeah, so those are the three terms. Dredge specifically I want to hit on, and ninjutsu, because ninjutsu is a little more technical, but dredge they've brought up now with the land dredging, and I think they just did another dredge recently in the horror set, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So in case you're curious on what dredge is, that's what that is. So a couple more terms for you guys to learn and memorize, hopefully, if you can.
Yep. There will be a test on Friday.
Yep. Part of the raffle.
But that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you, Jack Maid and Full Pilgrims, as always. Don't forget to check us out on our website, commanderspod.com. Email us, cast@commanderspod. You can check out our YouTube, commanderspod. You can support us on our patreon.com/commanderspod. And don't forget, kill Andrew first.
If you can.
Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains, new and old. Duncan, and Sloan guide the way in the world of EDH we play. So tune in, friends, let's draw and go. In the Commander's Pod, the love will show. From our decks to yours, we share the spark in this world of magic. We'll leave